Lord my God, in this hour when my chest feels too tight to hold so much pain, I fall before you with my soul torn open, with tired eyes, with a wounded heart, with my strength almost gone, and even so I cry out, because deep within my sorrow there is still a spark that has not died, a small hope trembling like a flame on a windy night, yet alive, because you are still God, you are still Father, you are still refuge, you are still the one who gathers every tear. The one who hears the groan that words cannot even form, the one who enters the darkest places of the soul and is not frightened by the chaos you find within us. Beloved Father, I come just as I am. I have no spiritual ornaments to offer you. I have no beautiful phrases, no strength to pretend, no joy to perform before you something I am not in this moment. I come weary. I come broken. I come with heavy thoughts, painful memories, unanswered questions, silences that hurt, longings that crush me, fears that paralyze me, and a sadness that sometimes seems to want to convince me it will never leave. But I am here, Lord. And the simple fact that I am still here, kneeling in spirit, is already proof that your hand is still holding me, because if it depended only on me, perhaps I would have already given up even on praying. So I ask you, incline your ears to me. Hear this heart that has already wept in silence in the middle of the night. Hear this soul that smiled on the outside while bleeding within. Hear this life that keeps walking even when the legs of faith are trembling. Lord, I need you. I do not need merely a passing improvement, a temporary relief, or a distraction from my suffering. I need your deep touch. I need your presence that heals what no one sees. I need your spirit breathing over the places in my soul that have grown cold. I need your light entering the inner regions where sadness has settled like a dense and stubborn fog. My God, you know the name of my pain. You know where it came from. You know what I lost, what I hoped for and never happened, what I dreamed and watched collapse, what I kept hidden inside so I would not worry anyone. You know how many times I said, I'm fine, when in truth, everything inside me was falling apart. You know how many nights I turned in bed trying to rest, but my mind would not stop, my heart would not slow down, my soul would not find peace. You know how many times I felt alone even while surrounded by people, how many times I tried to be strong while inside I was crying for help, how many times my smile was only an effort to hide the sadness that was slowly consuming me. And even so, Lord, you saw me. When no one noticed, you noticed. When no one understood, you understood. When I myself could not explain what I was feeling, you already knew. Because you search hearts, you know thoughts before they are fully formed. You are the one who does not despise a broken and contrite heart. You are the God who draws near to the broken-hearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. You are the shepherd who goes after the wounded sheep, not with condemnation, but with compassion. You are the Father who does not turn away from the child who cries. You are the God of all comfort. So I open my inner being before you. I place this sadness before your altar. I place before you my old tears and my recent ones. I lay down the frustrations that still throb. I lay down the disappointments that opened wounds. I lay down the traumas that left scars. I lay down the griefs that have not yet been fully processed. I lay down the doors that closed. I lay down the words that hurt me. I lay down the rejections that diminished me. I lay down the days when I could not recognize any worth in myself. I lay down the weariness of having fought so hard and at times feeling that almost nothing changed. I surrender all of this to you, Lord, because I cannot carry this weight alone without being shattered even more. Father, there are moments when sadness does not scream. It simply sits inside the soul and slowly steals the color from everything. It takes away the brightness of tomorrow, weakens the desire to keep going, and turns what once felt light into something heavy. And I confess before you that there have been days when I felt exactly like that. Without color, without strength, without direction, without delight in life, without energy to dream, without the courage even to lift my head. But I believe that your word is still alive. I believe that the same God who visited Elijah when he lay down under the broom tree wishing to die, is the God who visits me today as well. You did not abandon Elijah in his exhaustion. You did not rebuke him for his pain before tending to him with care. You sent food, gave him rest, spoke with gentleness, and rekindled his purpose. Do that for me as well, Lord. Feed me where I am empty. Give me rest where I am exhausted. Heal me where I am wounded. Speak to me where everything inside me hears only noise, fear, and discouragement. Lord, I do not want to be ruled by sadness. I do not want pain to have the final word over my story. I do not want to get used to living without hope, surviving without expectation, existing without joy. I know there is a time to weep, and I do not deny my tears before you. I know there are valleys, deserts, dark nights of the soul, difficult seasons, trials that crush us. I know even your most faithful servants face deep anguish. David wept, Jeremiah lamented. Hannah poured out her soul. Job sat in ashes. The Lord Jesus himself, a man of sorrows who knows what it is to suffer, wept at Lazarus's tomb. So I do not hide my tears from you, because in your presence even my fragility can be sacred. Even my pain can become a place of meeting with you. But my God, while I weep, I also ask, do not allow sadness to become a permanent dwelling in my heart. Do not let discouragement take roots that grow too deep. Do not let disappointment make me cold. Do not allow pain to harden me. Do not let the lack of answers extinguish the flame of faith. If there is any lie within me that has risen against your truth, destroy it now with the power of your word. If sadness has tried to convince me that I have been forgotten, remind me that you said, "Can a mother forget the child she has nursed? Though she may forget, I will not forget you." If pain has tried to convince me that my future is over, remind me that your thoughts toward me are thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give me the future I hope for. If anguish has tried to tell me that I will never truly smile again, remind me that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Oh God, I need that morning. I need that visitation of light. I need the breaking of day within me. Perhaps the sun is shining outside, but inside my soul it is still night. So I ask you, dawn within me, dawn in every darkened thought, dawn in every wounded memory, dawn in every area where hope has been buried, dawn in my eyes, dawn in my speech, dawn in my steps, dawn in my prayer, dawn in my ability to believe again. Dawn, Lord, because only you can say, "Let there be light," even inside the human heart, and darkness must retreat before your voice. Dear Father, I also ask your forgiveness for the times when, in the middle of sadness, I let fear speak louder than faith. Forgive me for the times when I fed my anxieties more than I fed on your word. Forgive me for the times when I isolated myself not only from people, but from your presence, as if my silence could protect me, when in truth it only pulled me deeper into pain. Forgive me for every thought of unbelief, for every moment when I thought you were doing nothing, for every time I judged my story by the intensity of my sadness, rather than by the faithfulness of your character. Wash me, Lord. Purify my heart. Renew within me a steadfast mind. Create in me again a stable spirit. Do not allow my soul to become dry ground for lack of the living water that comes from you. I ask you, Holy Spirit, visit my emotions right now. Touch where there is disorder. Touch where there is oppression. Touch where there is weariness. Touch where there are memories of pain. Touch where there is unresolved grief. Touch where there is a sense of abandonment. Touch where anxiety has disguised itself as control. Touch where there is hidden guilt. Touch where there is shame. Touch where there is self-condemnation. Touch where there is resentment. Touch where there is deep discouragement. I surrender all of this to you, not in isolated fragments, but as one who places the entire inner house into your hands, so that you may walk through every room, open the shuttered windows, clear away the accumulated dust, restore what has been broken, and breathe life back into what seemed dead. Lord, there are wounds that are not visible, yet they bleed. There are pains that leave no scar on the body, yet leave deep marks on the soul. There are burdens no one notices because they are carried within, and precisely for that reason I thank you, because you do not need explanations to understand the depth of what I feel. You do not minimize my pain. You do not ignore my sadness. You do not grow irritated with my weariness. You do not despise me when I come weak. On the contrary, your word says that your strength is made perfect in weakness. So I do not hide my condition from you. I say, I am weak, Lord. I am tired, Lord. I am sad, Lord. I need your embrace, Lord. I need your restoration, Lord. I need to hear again, in the depths of my spirit, that it is still worth going on. Father, teach me to weep without losing faith. Teach me to wait without falling into despair. Teach me to pass through this valley without building a home in it. Teach me to look upward when everything around me tries to pull my eyes down. Teach me to rest in you when my mind wants to run. Teach me to remain when everything inside me wants to flee. Teach me to remember what is eternal when the pain of the present feels so overwhelming. Teach me, Lord, not to measure your love by the intensity of my suffering, because the cross has already proven once and for all that I am loved. Even when I do not feel it, even when I do not understand, even when all I can do is weep, I am loved. I am seen. I am remembered. I am sustained by the God who never fails. And I ask that this truth would travel from my mind to my heart, because there are things I already know, yet still have not been able to fully live. I know that you are good, but on dark days I struggle to feel that goodness near me. I know that you care, but at times I feel forgotten. I know that you have promises, but when sadness tightens around me, the future feels too far away. So work this sacred crossing within me, Lord. Bring knowledge into experience. Bring theology into comfort. Bring promise into the wounded heart. Bring the word into the part of me that still trembles. Bring truth into the place where the lie of despair tried to settle. My God, I now renounce in your name every word of defeat I have accepted over my life. I renounce every sentence of failure. I renounce the lie that nothing will ever change. I renounce the thought that sadness defines me. I renounce the idea that the best part of me is already behind me. I renounce the accusing voice that tries to convince me I am beyond recovery. I renounce the weight of comparison, the poison of envy, the discouragement that rises when I look at the lives of others and feel that mine is stalled, delayed, or too broken. I do not want to measure myself by human standards, nor by the pace of others, nor by the outward results of those around me. I want to look to you. I want to remember that you deal with every life in a personal, unique, deep, and perfect way, even when it remains mysterious to our eyes. Lord, I also ask you about the roots of this sadness. If it was born from a loss, comfort me. If it was born from disappointment, heal me. If it was born from extreme exhaustion, renew me. If it was born from wounds of rejection, affirm me in your love. If it was born from guilt, forgive me and cleanse me. If it was born from loneliness, visit me. If it was born from shattered expectations, teach me to trust again. If it was born from battles that have lasted too long, strengthen me. If it was born from old traumas that were never truly exposed to your light, bring to the surface with gentleness and grace whatever needs to be treated. I do not want to push pain into some dark corner of my soul. I want true healing. I want deep freedom. I want restoration that is not merely outward, but real. Father of mercy, I ask you, break the cycle of persistent sadness. Break the repetition of thoughts that pull me downward. Break the weight that returns every time I try to rise. Break the invisible chain that tries to imprison my mind in painful memories, negative scenarios, self-sabotage, and fear of tomorrow. Break, Lord, in the name of Jesus, everything that has been stealing my peace, my joy, my spiritual vitality, my ability to dream, my willingness to live and serve. Break every oppression, break every dark cloud, break every yoke, because your word says that if the Son sets us free, we will truly be free. I cling to that truth. I declare it over my life. I call upon it with reverence, faith, and deep need. But I also ask, Lord, that while I pray for deliverance, I would not run from the process. Give me courage to walk through healing. Give me courage to feel, to acknowledge, to confess, to let you touch what hurts. Give me humility to accept help when it comes. Give me discernment to recognize the instruments you use. Give me sensitivity to understand that you may heal through prayer, through the word, through fellowship, through counsel, through care, through rest, through honest conversations, through simple daily beginnings again. I do not want to limit your work to the way I imagine it should happen. I simply do not want to remain trapped. I do not want to remain sinking. I do not want to grow used to a soul that is continually crushed when you call me to abundant life, even if that abundance begins little by little, like dawn slowly brightening the horizon. Lord Jesus, look at me as you looked at Peter when he began to sink. He was in the middle of the waters, between miracle and fear, between faith and doubt, between the impossible and the storm. And when his eyes drifted and he began to sink, the cry that came out was simple: Lord, save me. Today that is my cry as well. Lord, save me from this sadness. Save me from this heaviness. Save me from this feeling of inward sinking. Stretch out your hand over me. Pull me close. Rebuke the wind within me. Calm the sea of my mind. Remind me that the storm around me does not determine what you are able to do within me. Beloved Father, I thank you because Christian hope is not a fragile illusion. It is not empty positive thinking. It is not a human attempt to deny pain. The hope that comes from you is born even in wounded soil. It survives the night. It endures the valley. It passes through grief. It faces unanswered questions. It remains because it is grounded not in my unstable emotions, but in your unchanging character. You remain who you are even when I cannot feel anything but exhaustion. You remain faithful even when I feel broken. You remain present even when silence confuses me. You remain at work even when I do not see it. And that alone is enough reason for me not to give up on you, nor on myself, nor on the story you are still writing. I praise you, Lord, because you are a specialist in new beginnings. You restored Naomi in the midst of bitterness. You raised Joseph up after the pit and the prison. You lifted David after falls and persecutions. You restored Peter's dignity after his denial. You met Thomas in his doubt. You called Mary Magdalene by name in the midst of her tears. You transformed Saul into Paul. You made life bloom in deserts, rivers flow in dry places, songs rise in lands of exile. You are the God who resurrects what seems lost. You are the God who takes ruins and makes testimonies. You are the God who gathers broken pieces and forms new vessels. So gather me too, Lord. Gather what pain has scattered within me. Reorder what suffering has thrown into confusion. Rebuild what fear has shaken. Strengthen what has become fragile. There are parts of me, Father, that are still afraid to hope again, because hoping can feel dangerous to one who has been disappointed too many times. Dreaming again can feel risky to one who has watched dreams die. Trusting again can feel difficult to one who has felt the ground disappear beneath their feet. But I ask you, teach me the kind of hope that does not depend on visible guarantees. Teach me to trust without controlling. Teach me to rest without understanding. Teach me to keep going even without seeing everything resolved. Give me a mature, biblical, steady hope rooted in you. Not a rushed, anxious, demanding hope, but a hope that knows how to wait like the farmer who plants in tears, trusting that there will be a harvest. A hope that knows that though the fig tree may not blossom, it still chooses to rejoice in the God of salvation. Lord, visit the wounded child that still exists within me. Visit the old memories. Visit the places in my story where I felt abandoned, rejected, humiliated, invisible, insufficient. Visit the experiences that shape the way I think about myself, about others, and even about you. If at any point in my journey I projected onto your shoulders the human absences I endured, heal that in me. If somewhere in my heart I believed that your love worked like the flawed love I received from people, renew my vision. You do not love the way people love. You do not remain the way people remain. You do not abandon the way people abandon. You do not betray the way people betray. You do not grow tired of me the way some have grown tired of me. Your love is holy, faithful, constant, vast, eternal. Let me experience that love in a living, concrete, transformative way. I ask you, Lord, for the days when waking up is hard, for the mornings when the body rises but the soul remains down, for the moments when simple tasks feel like mountains, for the times when everything requires enormous effort. Breathe on me with your breath of life. Give me grace for today. I do not ask right now for strength for entire years. I ask for strength for this day, bread for today, manna for today, courage for today, light for today, peace for today. Because I know that often sadness tries to crush me by making me look at an entire future all at once. But you invite me to receive the provision of each day. So I receive it. I receive the grace needed for this morning, for this afternoon, for this night. And tomorrow again I will return to your presence to receive whatever I need. Father, guard my mind. Guard the place where so many silent battles happen. Guard the thoughts that visit me when no one is watching. Guard my imagination, my memory, my reasoning. Do not allow me to be dominated by narratives of defeat. Help me take captive to the obedience of Christ everything that rises against the knowledge of God. When thoughts of despair arise, remind me of your past faithfulness. When accusing voices come, remind me of the cross. When sadness tries to isolate me, draw me near to your presence. When fear of the future tightens around me, remind me that tomorrow is already in your hands. When my heart says it won't work, let faith whisper louder, "Thus far, the Lord has helped me." Lord, I thank you because even my weak prayer can be received by you. Even when my words are few, my sigh still reaches heaven. Even when my heart is confused, your Spirit intercedes for me with groanings too deep for words. Even when I do not know how to pray as I ought, you know exactly what I need. That comforts me deeply. I am not alone in my pain, in my prayer, or in my recovery. Heaven is not indifferent to my suffering. Your throne is not closed to my cry. Your heart is not distant from my brokenness. On the contrary, it is precisely the weary and burdened whom you invite, saying, "Come to me." So I come. I draw near with reverence, but also with confidence, because the blood of Jesus opened the way for me to find help in time of need. My God, let the ability to notice your daily mercies be born again in me. When sadness settles in, the soul loses sensitivity to the small signs of grace. Everything seems tasteless, dim, and meaningless. But I ask you, retrain my eyes, teach me to notice your care in simple things, in the air I breathe, in the word that reaches me, in the person who calls at just the right time, in the unexpected strength that rises in the middle of the day, in the peace that suddenly visits during prayer, in the comfort that comes through a verse, in the rest of a calmer night, in the small smile that returns after a long time, in the tear that cleanses, in the silence that no longer feels so heavy, in the hope that begins small, yet real. Teach me to see your hand in these gentle details, because often the miracle begins this way, almost imperceptibly, and before we realize it, we are already being transformed. Heavenly Father, I also intercede for all those who, like me, are trying to overcome sadness and recover hope. People who cry in secret, people who are tired of being strong, people who feel lost within themselves, people who no longer know how to explain their own pain, people who pray and feel as though they can no longer feel anything at all. People who are on the edge of complete discouragement. Reach each one of them, Lord. Enter dark rooms, weary hearts, troubled minds, silent homes, lives that keep moving on autopilot, while inside there is a quiet cry for help. Visit them with your love. Break through with your light. Sustain them with your hand. Renew them with your spirit. Prove to every downcast heart that there is still hope in you. Lord, I ask that my sadness would not waste your visitation. If this pain can teach me dependence, then I want to depend more on you. If this valley can deepen my roots, then deepen me in you. If this season can purify my faith, then purify me. If this time can show me facets of your care that I would never notice in easier days, then open my eyes. I do not glorify pain, nor do I ask to suffer, but since I am here, I ask that nothing would be in vain. Turn into worship what was only weeping. Turn into intimacy what was only anguish. Turn into testimony what today is still an open wound. Turn into compassion for others what sadness is carving in me. Let me come out of this process not only relieved, but also more like Christ. Beloved Jesus, I remember when the disciples were on the road to Emmaus, sad, confused, disappointed. thinking that everything had ended. They were walking beside the answer and did not realize it. And you, in grace, drew near to them on the road. You made their hearts burn again as you opened the scriptures, and what had been sadness began to be pierced by revelation, presence, and meaning. Do that with me, Lord. Walk with me on this road. Explain the scriptures to me as I keep going. Make my heart burn again. Where sadness has chilled my faith, warm me. Where disappointment has darkened my vision, enlighten me. Where lack of understanding has paralyzed me, accompany me. Do not let me walk without recognizing your presence. Father, I also surrender the practical areas of my life that are affected by sadness. I surrender my work, my studies, my routine, my relationships, my sleep, my health, my strength, my ability to serve, to love, to connect. Sadness spills into many places, and I do not want to pretend it is limited to the heart. So I ask for your intervention in everything it has touched. Restore my routine little by little. Restore my discipline with gentleness. Restore my affections. Restore the joy of living one day at a time. Restore the desire to care for body, mind, and spirit. Restore delight in simple things. Restore a sense of purpose. Restore, Lord, what has been emptied. And if at any moment I feel ashamed of my sadness, remind me that healing does not grow well in the soil of shame. Remind me that I am no less spiritual because I need to weep. I am no less loved because I feel cast down. I am no less worthy because I am tired. I am no less yours because I am in a struggle. On the contrary, your love reaches me exactly here. Your grace finds me exactly here. Your power can manifest exactly here. So I cast out the shame that isolates me. I cast out the guilt for being sad. I cast out the pressure to appear okay all the time. Before you, I choose truth. Before you, I choose surrender. Before you, I choose to let myself be cared for. Lord, place watchmen at the door of my heart. Keep far from me everything that feeds despair. Give me discernment to recognize environments, words, habits, thoughts, and patterns that deepen my sadness unnecessarily. Teach me to choose what nourishes life. Teach me to draw near to what builds up, to what is pure, to what is good, to what fosters peace. Teach me to choose carefully the voices I listen to. Teach me not to give every thought the right to remain. Teach me to cultivate by your grace an inner life where your word carries more authority than my emotional fluctuations. Dear Father, I feel that as I pray, something within me is beginning to breathe a little better. It is not yet the end of the battle, but it is already proof that your presence is here. It is not yet the conclusion of the journey, but it is already the beginning of restoration. It is not yet the full brightness of morning, but there is already a line of light appearing on the horizon of my soul. And I thank you for that. I thank you because hope does not always return like thunder. Sometimes it returns like a seed. It returns like a breath. It returns like a word. It returns like a gentle comfort. It returns like the quiet certainty that you are still writing. I receive that seed, I protect that breath, I embrace that word. I do not despise small beginnings, because I know that the hand that began the good work in me is faithful to complete it. Therefore, Lord, even in the midst of tears, I begin to declare by faith, this sadness will not be eternal. This valley will not be my final address. This night will not extinguish your purpose in me. I will not be consumed by what I felt. I will not be defined by what I suffered. I will not be imprisoned by what I lost. You still have paths for me. You still have comfort for me. You still have healing for me. You still have peace for me. You still have joy for me. You still have a future for me. And even though I do not yet see everything, I choose to cling to you, because you are rock when everything feels like sand, anchor when everything feels like a raging sea, shelter when everything feels like a storm. So stay with me, Lord, as this prayer continues to deepen. Do not withdraw your presence from me for even a moment. Keep touching what still hurts. Keep revealing what still needs to be surrendered. Keep restoring what is still broken. Keep uprooting the roots of despair and planting within me the living hope that is born of your Spirit, because I still have more to pour out before you, more to surrender, more to believe, And it is in this holy continuation, in this quiet movement of your grace over the ruins within me, that I remain before you, opening my soul more and more, because I know that while I keep crying out, you keep listening, you keep working, you keep healing. And I am already beginning to see that out of the midst of this sadness, you are preparing the path by which hope will bloom again. And that is why, Lord, I do not want to interrupt this outpouring of my soul before you, because I feel that as I keep speaking with you, as I keep laying before your altar what has been hidden in the quietest corners of my heart, something sacred is happening within me. It is not noise, it is not spectacle, it is not empty emotion. It is your spirit visiting with depth, with gentleness, and with truth the very places I tried for so long to bear alone. And now, Father, I continue in this prayer, not because everything is already resolved, but because I can already sense that your presence is changing the way I walk through my pain. Sadness may still knock at the door. It may still try to whisper its old arguments. It may still try to remind me of losses, failures, absences, disappointments and promises that seem too delayed. But now I am not alone in the valley. Now I perceive you here. Now I remember that even if I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I do not need to fear any evil, because you are with me. Your rod corrects me, your staff comforts me, your faithfulness surrounds me, and your love remains greater than any night I have ever faced. Lord, I ask you to deepen this work within me even more. Do not allow me to go back to the same inner places where despair used to sit as though it owned the house. Do not allow me to accept again as normal what you want to heal. Do not allow me to settle for a life merely survived, when in you there is abundant life, true peace, restored joy, renewal, relief, direction, purpose, communion, and healing. Teach me to recognize when sadness tries to take the throne that belongs only to you. Teach me to discern when my emotions are trying to rule my faith. Teach me to stop, breathe, be still, and remember that you are God. You have not lost control of my story. You have not arrived too late. You have not been prevented from acting. You have not given up on me. You have not been confused by my pain. You have not stopped having a plan. You have not stopped loving me. You have not stopped writing chapters for my life. There are still pages I have not read. There are still days I have not lived. There are still mercies I have not yet experienced. There are still answers I have not yet received. There is still healing I have not fully known. There is still hope that will continue to mature within me. Father, how many times sadness has made me look back with an almost unbearable weight? How many times my heart has clung to what is past, trying to understand why certain doors closed, why certain people left, why certain dreams did not remain, why certain pains reached me when I thought I was doing everything right. How many times I found myself imprisoned by unanswered questions, like someone returning to the same place in memory, hoping to find something different, only to hear once again the echo of their own suffering. Today I ask you, set me free from the invisible chains of the past. I do not want to deny what I lived through. I do not want to erase my story. I do not want to pretend it did not hurt. But I also do not want to remain tied to what you are already trying to teach me to surrender. Give me grace to remember without being ruled by it. Give me strength to learn without being enslaved by it. Give me peace to honor what was lived without turning pain into a permanent altar. Lord, there are memories that hurt because they speak of people I loved, plans I built, expectations I carried, prayers I prayed with tears and faith, hoping for a different outcome. And sometimes, my God, it is hard to understand why you allowed certain paths, certain deserts, certain losses, certain silences. But even so, even with questions, I choose to remain before you. I do not want to be someone who loves you only when I understand. I do not want to be someone who trusts only when I receive exactly what I asked for. I want to love you even in the fog. I want to honor you even in the crossing. I want to follow you even when the ground feels strange and the map feels incomplete. Because true faith is not born only in the comfort of answers, but also in the holy place of dependence, where the soul says, I do not understand everything, but I choose to keep holding my God's hand. Beloved Father, I ask you to heal the weariness of my heart. Sometimes sadness does not come from a single event, but from an accumulation of battles, pressures, responsibilities, disappointments, self-demands, fears, and days when I had to be strong for far too long. An accumulation of unresolved situations, swallowed emotions, postponed tears, forced smiles and heavy silences. And the soul grows exhausted, the heart becomes slow. Hope runs out of breath. That is why I ask you, breathe your rest over me. Not only the rest of the body, but the rest of the soul, the rest that Jesus promised to the weary and burdened, the rest of one who knows they do not have to hold up the world with their own hands, the rest of one who understands they do not have to control everything, the rest of one who learns to lay their head upon your chest and hear again the steady rhythm of your faithfulness. Lord Jesus, teach me to live close to you again, because there is a sadness that grows when we drift from the source, when we become used to living on autopilot, when we do many things but stop abiding. I do not want merely to speak about you. I want to be with you. I do not want merely to remember verses as information. I want to receive your word as living bread. I do not want merely to ask for help in moments of distress. I want to cultivate intimacy. I want to sit at your feet like Mary. I want to say with the psalmist that my soul thirsts for the living God. I want to relearn the secret of abiding in the vine, abiding in love, abiding in obedience, abiding in your peace, because I know that many sorrows grow larger when the heart is dehydrated of presence, weakened in prayer, distracted from eternity, and overloaded with temporary things. My God, I also surrender to you my expectations of people. How many times sadness increased because I expected too much from those who could not sustain me. How many times I placed too much weight on human shoulders and then felt disappointed when they failed. How many times I looked to people for what only you could fully give me. Identity, security, fullness, constancy, meaning, and deep healing. Help me, Father, to love without idolizing, to relate without depending, to receive affection without turning it into salvation, to be grateful for the right people without transferring to them the place that belongs only to you. When human beings disappoint me, do not let my heart harden. When I feel misunderstood, help me run first to you. When I am wounded by words, actions, omissions, or distance, remind me that in you there is a place of refuge where no human rejection can define my worth. Father, heal also the sadness that is born from comparison. So many times, Lord, the soul grows sad not only because of what it lives through, but because of what it sees others living through. We see smiles, achievements, relationships, open doors, victories, abundance, recognition, and then we begin to look at our own lives harshly, as if we are falling behind. As if you have forgotten us, as if our story was smaller, delayed, or less worthy. Deliver me from that, Lord. Deliver me from the trap of measuring my path by the ruler of someone else's journey. Deliver me from the false urgency of wanting to live in another person's timing. Deliver me from the unnecessary pain that comes when I compare the backstage of my soul with the storefront of someone else's life. You know the trail you prepared for me. You know what I need, what I am not yet ready to receive, what needs to mature, what needs to die, what needs to bloom. Help me trust your timing. Help me honor the process. Help me celebrate the blessing of others without turning my waiting into punishment. Lord, there are moments when sadness tries to distort even the way I see myself. It makes me feel too small, too incapable, too broken, too delayed, too flawed. It makes me forget the signs of your grace in my own journey. It makes me look only at what is missing, only at what hurt, only at what did not happen. So I ask you, restore my vision of who I am in you. I am not the sum of my losses. I am not the reflection of my worst days. I am not what they said in my most vulnerable moment. I am not the label they tried to place on me. I am not a walking failure. I am not a lost cause. I am your creation. I am the object of your love. I am someone for whom Christ died. I am clay in the hands of the potter. I am a branch that can bloom again when connected to the vine. I am a beloved child. I am someone still being transformed from glory to glory. Let this truth take deep root within me. Holy Father, teach me how to deal with the days when sadness returns without warning. Teach me not to panic when I feel again that weight, that longing, that tightness, that melancholy, that desire to withdraw from the whole world. Teach me to recognize that the process of healing is not a straight line. Teach me that sometimes there will be quiet progress and emotional setbacks, and even so you will still be with me. Let me not turn a difficult day into a permanent sentence. Let me not conclude, because of one heavy night, that nothing has changed. Let me not disregard the work you have already begun, just because there are still battles to face. Give me patience with myself. Give me mercy for my own process. Give me gentleness so I do not punish myself when it still hurts. Give me perseverance to keep returning to your presence as many times as necessary. Lord, I ask you to sanctify even my vulnerability. Let it not be a place of humiliation, but a place of encounter. Let me not see my fragility as spiritual failure, but as an opportunity to experience the sufficiency of your grace. The Apostle Paul learned to glory in his weaknesses, not because he enjoyed suffering, but because he discovered that it was precisely there that the power of Christ rested upon him. I want to learn that too, Lord. I want to learn not to hide from you what is wounded. I want to learn not to disguise my true condition before you. I want to learn to turn into prayer what used to become only anxiety. I want to learn to weave intimacy in nights of weeping. I want to learn to say with sincerity and trust, Lord, this is where it hurts. This is where I need you. This is where your hand must touch. Father, touch my inner house with order and peace. If there are rooms in the soul that I have kept closed out of fear, open them with me. If there are memories I have hidden for years, illuminate them with your presence. If there are conversations I need to have, forgiveness I need to release, tears I need to allow, truths I need to accept, reveal it all to me in the right time, in the right measure, with the grace I need. I do not want superficial healing. I do not want merely a temporary improvement. I want a transformation that reaches the depths. I want the root to be treated. I want living water to reach where the ground has hardened. I want the oil of your Spirit to heal where pain has dried everything out. I want holy fire to purify where fear has gathered shadows. And in the middle of this prayer, Lord, while my soul continues to be watered by your presence, and I feel that so many people also need a word that heals, a prayer that strengthens, a spiritual refuge where they can breathe in. I ask you to use this message to reach other wounded hearts. And if this prayer is touching lives, awakening faith, renewing strength, and bringing comfort in the midst of sorrow, may each person be moved not only by the emotion of the moment, but by a purpose of faith and fellowship. May they show that movement by leaving a like, writing in the comments what they are placing before your altar, testifying to what you are doing, and also subscribing to the channel The Meaning of the Bible, so that more and more souls may be reached by messages that point to you, to your word, to your hope, and to your restoring presence. May this gesture, Lord, not be merely digital or mechanical, but a way of sowing light, spreading faith, and opening the way for others to find the comfort they are receiving today in your name. And I continue, Father, because there is still so much within me that needs to learn how to breathe hope. There are still areas where sadness tried to build strongholds. There are still thoughts that need to be cast down by your truth. There are still feelings that need to be washed by your love. There are still spaces within my being that need to relearn the language of trust. And I know that you are patient. You do not rush processes. You do not despise stages. You do not tear out by force what must be treated with care. You are a God of power, but you are also a God of tenderness. You are the one who breaks chains, but you are also the one who heals wounds with the gentle hands of the Good Shepherd. You are the God who works immediate miracles, but also the God who walks with us through long journeys, forming in us a heart that is deeper, humbler, more dependent, and more alive. Lord, I surrender to you the sadness that is born from loneliness. Not only the absence of people, but that more intimate loneliness that can exist even in
há momentos
crowded
em que a
places.
tristeza tenta
The
distorcer
loneliness
até a
of
minha
one who does
visão
not
sobre
feel
mim
truly
mesmo.
seen. Ela me faz sentir
The loneliness
pequeno
of one
demais,
who speaks,
but
incapaz
feels
demais,
that no one understands.
quebrado demais,
The loneliness of
atrasado
one who
demais,
laughs but does not feel
falho
accompanied
demais.
inside. Ela me
The
faz
loneliness
esquecer os
of one who
sinais
has
da tua
grown
graça
used to carrying
na
the
minha
world
própria
alone.
trajetória. Enter that place, Father. Sit with me there. Fill that space with your real presence. Let me realize that I have never truly been abandoned. Even if people did not understand, you understood. Even if many passed by without noticing my pain, you recorded it. Even if I felt invisible, your eyes were upon me. Even if I went through nights without human embrace, your spirit was watching over me. Dear Father, also give me discernment to build healthy, godly, and genuine bonds. Because many times, healing from sadness also comes through relationships where your love flows, through sincere fellowship, through mutual support, through brothers and sisters who weep with those who weep and rejoice with those who rejoice. Deliver me both from proud isolation and from company that deepens my abysses. Give me people who point me to you. Give me conversations that build up. Give me environments where my soul can breathe. Give me courage to ask for help when I need it. Give me maturity to let myself be cared for. Give me wisdom also to become an answer to prayer in the lives of others. Let me not be only someone who receives comfort, but also someone who one day, restored by your grace, will be used to comfort others with the comfort I received from you. Lord, I ask you for those moments when sadness is mixed with guilt. Sometimes the heart suffers not only because of what it lost, but because of what it believes it did wrong, what it wishes it had said, what it wishes it had prevented, the choices it wishes it could make again. And guilt, when it is not brought to the cross, becomes a cruel prison. Today I bring that before you. If there is sin, forgive me. If there is error, teach me. If there is responsibility, correct me with love. But do not allow me to live under eternal condemnation for something the blood of Jesus is able to cleanse. Your word says that there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. So I cling to that truth. I do not deny my failures, but neither will I worship them. I confess what must be confessed. I learn what must be learned. I repair what can be repaired, and then I move forward by your grace without carrying chains you never asked me to carry. Father, I surrender to you my accumulated tears. Tears I shed alone. Tears that never came out but weighed heavily inside. Tears I pretended not to have. Tears that sprang up in unlikely places, in the middle of ordinary tasks, sudden memories, and quiet longing. I know that you gather each one of them in your bottle. Not one is lost. Not one is insignificant before you. Every tear contains a story, a pain, a memory, a request, a fragility. And if you gather my tears, then my pain is not wasted. It is being seen, kept, and touched by the God who turns mourning into sowing. That is why I am not ashamed to cry before you. My weeping is not useless weakness. It is often the water with which you are softening the hardened soil of my heart in order to plant new hope. My God, when sadness tries to convince me that I no longer have strength, remind me of how many times you have already sustained me this far. Remind me of the old battles I came through by your hand. Remind me of the nights when I thought I would not endure, and yet morning came. Remind me of the pains that seemed like endings but became chapters. Remind me of the unexpected answers, the quiet provisions, the silent deliverances, the embraces that came at the right time, the words that reached me when everything felt like desert. Revive my spiritual memory. Do not let me become ungrateful through forgetfulness. Do not let my present pain erase the memorials of your past faithfulness. Just as David called to mind what gave him hope, I also want to call to mind the works of the Lord, your love, your goodness, your sustaining power, your mercy that never came to an end. Lord, teach me to walk through sadness without becoming its hostage. Let me not feed it with destructive thoughts. Let me not romanticize it. Let me not turn it into my identity. Let me not use it as an excuse to abandon everything you still call me to live. But let me also not deny it, hide it, or pretend spiritual superiority. Give me holy balance. Give me the honesty of the Psalms and the confidence of the prophets. Give me Jeremiah's sincere weeping and Habakkuk's courageous hope. Give me Job's transparency and Paul's perseverance. Give me the humility of one who falls at your feet, but also the firmness of one who rises in your name. Father, visit the places in my life where hope seemed to die. Visit buried dreams, visit interrupted projects, visit shattered relationships, visit areas where pain convinced me never to try again. Visit the parts of me that made silent agreements with giving up. If anywhere in my heart I said, "This will never change," go to that place, Lord. If in some corner of my soul I decided not to expect anything good anymore so that I would not be disappointed, enter there with your truth. If sadness taught me to live defensively, always expecting the worst so that I would not be caught off guard, undo that mechanism in me. I do not want to live hardened. I do not want to live numb. I do not want to live emotionally sedated, just so I will not suffer. I want to live. And truly living also includes learning to feel hope again, to trust again, to dream again under your direction. Lord Jesus, you are the resurrection and the life. When everyone thought Lazarus was already in the past, you arrived. When the atmosphere smelled of impossibility, you spoke. When grief seemed final, your voice broke through death. Today I ask you, speak also to the emotional tombs within me. Call out what is wrapped in sadness. Command hope to come out of the grave. Let me hear your voice again above the weeping, above the longing, above the disappointment, above the fear. And just as you said, unbind him and let him go. I ask that you would also remove from me the old wrappings of despair, apathy, heaviness, and unbelief. I do not want only to come out of the tomb, I also want to be free to walk. Beloved Father, guard me from the cynicism that can be born after much pain. There are people who have suffered so much that they can no longer believe in beauty, goodness, love, or new beginnings. They become hard, ironic, closed off, distrustful of everything and everyone. Deliver me from that, Lord. Even if I have been wounded, do not let me become incapable of tenderness. Even if I have been disappointed, do not let me lose the ability to marvel at your work. Even if I have wept greatly, do not let my heart become numb. Preserve in me a teachable spirit. Preserve in me the gentleness of your fruit. Preserve in me the ability to be moved by your grace. Preserve in me a heart of flesh, sensitive to your voice and available for love. Lord, I surrender to you the places where sadness has mixed with anger. Anger over what happened, anger toward people, anger toward myself, sometimes even anger toward you, though I am afraid to admit it. But you know everything, and I do not want to hide unresolved emotions from you. Take away the poison that remained. Purify my inner being. Where there is resentment, produce forgiveness. Where there is revolt, produce trust. Where there is bitterness, produce healing. Do not allow pain to become a bitter root that contaminates the rest of my life. Wash me inside. Give me freedom to release what imprisons me. Teach me that forgiving is not denying pain, but placing justice in your hands and refusing to remain chained to the evil that was done to me. Father, I ask you also for my mouth. Let sadness not turn me into someone who continually prophesies defeat over their own life. Guard my lips from declarations that feed the abyss. Teach me to speak with wisdom, truth, and faith. Not an artificial faith that denies suffering, but a biblical faith that recognizes pain and still says, "Yet I will hope in the Lord." Teach me to use my mouth to bless, to cry out, to confess your word, to ask for help, to give thanks for the small signs of restoration. Let me not become an accomplice to discouragement through the words I keep repeating. Teach me to align my speech with the hope that comes from you. Lord, plant in me holy habits of rebuilding. Show me small steps that cooperate with what you are doing. If I need to learn to rest again, teach me. If I need to reorganize my routine, help me. If I need to eat better, care for my body, return to disciplines, limit excesses, step away from constant sources of heaviness, make room for your word, seek fellowship, and cultivate healthy silence. Teach me all of it. Because I understand, Father, that your grace does not call me merely to feel something beautiful in this prayer. It calls me to walk in restoration. I want to cooperate with your work. I want to respond to your invitation. I want to build, by the power of your Spirit, a life more aligned with the peace you desire to pour over me. My God, I thank you because hope does not need to return all at once in order to be real. Sometimes it returns in fragments, in the desire to pray again, in the will to get out of bed, in the courage to talk, in a verse that touches me, in a small decision to keep going, in a tear that relieves, in a moment of beauty that breaks through the fog for a few seconds. And I thank you for every small return of life. I thank you for every sign of movement. I thank you for every millimeter of light. I thank you for every breath that feels a little less heavy. I thank you because your work is not always loud, but it is always faithful. And I will not despise the humble beginnings of my restoration. I will honor them. I will water them with prayer. I will protect them with your word. I will celebrate them with gratitude. Father, stay with me when this prayer ends on my lips, because I know it must continue to be lived in my heart. Stay with me in the quiet room, on the busy street, at tiring work, in the restless night, in moments of trigger, in sudden memories, on days without much energy, in difficult conversations, in the hours when I may seem fine on the outside, but need you deeply on the inside. Stay with me, not only in clearly identifiable spiritual moments, but in the ordinary rhythms of life. Make my daily life a place of encounter with you. Let me perceive you in simplicity. Let me hear you in quietness. Let me feel you in the opened word. Let me recognize you in daily bread. Let me worship you not only when I am fully healed, but also while I am being healed. And I already praise you, Lord, for what I will still testify to. I praise you for the joy that will take root again. I praise you for the peace that will grow firm. I praise you for the lightness that, at some point, will begin to feel natural again. I praise you for the sleep that will become more peaceful. I praise you for mornings that will feel less heavy. I praise you for the sincere laughter that will return. I praise you for healed conversations. I praise you for dreams restored or redirected. I praise you for the heart that will come out of this passage deeper and more sensitive to your voice. I praise you because I know sadness will not have the final word. You will, grace will, resurrection will, hope will. That is why I remain before you, without interrupting this holy flow of surrender, because the more I seek you, the more I realize that there are still layers within me that need to be reached by your light. There are still hidden fears that need to be confronted by your perfect love. There are still areas where hope needs not only to reappear, but to put down permanent roots, and that is why I continue in this prayer, without closing the door of my soul, without stepping away from your presence, without ending my cry, because I feel that you still want to touch deeper regions of my heart, and I remain here, surrendered, thirsty, reverent, and open, letting your voice continue to fall over me like balm, like fire, like living water, like promise, like comfort, and like calling, while my soul bows even more before you to enter a place of total surrender, where sadness begins to lose its dominion and hope, little by little, begins to rise with greater strength within me. Lord, before continuing this prayer, also touch the heart of every person being reached by this message. May they leave a like, comment their prayer, their request, or their testimony, and subscribe to the channel The Meaning of the Bible, so that more lives may find comfort, faith, and hope in your word. And now I continue before you, beloved Father, because my soul desires to enter a deeper place of surrender. I do not want only to receive relief, I want to be transformed. I do not want only for sadness to decrease. I want hope to be restored within me in a firm, living, and true way. I want what was broken by pain to be touched by your hand. I want what was weakened by fear to be strengthened by your presence. I want what seemed lifeless to bloom again by the power of your Spirit. Lord, I surrender everything. I surrender what I understand and what I do not understand. I surrender what I lost and what I am still afraid to lose. I surrender the past I cannot change. the present that sometimes weighs on me, and the future I still cannot see. I surrender my tears, my questions, my memories, my longing, my expectations, and my frustrations. I also surrender my desire to control the paths, because many times I tried to hold in my hands what could only rest in yours. Father, I recognize that sadness tries to convince me that I am alone, but your word reminds me that you will never leave me nor forsake me. Sadness tries to say there is no way out, but you open ways in the wilderness and rivers in dry places. Sadness tries to extinguish my faith, but your spirit rekindles the flame that seemed almost dead. Sadness tries to make me look only at the pain, but you call me to lift my eyes to the hills from where my help comes. Therefore, my God, I declare before you, my help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. The Lord will not allow my feet to slip forever. The Lord will keep me. The Lord will guard my going out and my coming in from this time forth and forevermore. Even if I go through difficult days, I will not go through them without you. Even if I weep, I will not weep without comfort. Even if I wait, I will not wait without promise. Even if I fight, I will not fight without your strength. Beloved Jesus, I look to the cross and find there the greatest proof of love. When my mind tries to convince me that I have been forgotten, the cross answers that I was loved to the end. When sadness tries to say that my life has no value, the cross reminds me that your blood was shed for me. When guilt tries to imprison me, the cross announces forgiveness. When shame tries to hide me, the cross opens the way for me to draw near to the Father. When fear tries to dominate me, the resurrection proclaims that death did not win, that light overcame darkness, and that hope is stronger than the grave. Lord, let this truth descend deeply into my heart. May I not live merely repeating words of faith, but experiencing faith as real support. May I not only say that I trust, but learn to rest. May I not only ask for hope, but allow you to remove from me everything that suffocates hope. Uproot the roots of unbelief. Uproot the roots of bitterness. Uproot the roots of discouragement. Uproot the roots of self-pity. Uproot the roots of every thought that tries to keep me tied to suffering as if it were my identity. I am not my sadness. I am not my loss. I am not my disappointment. I am not my worst day. I belong to you. My story is in your hands. My life still has purpose. My soul can still sing. My heart can still be healed. My hope can still be reborn, because you are the God of restoration. Father, I ask you to teach me to surrender without fear. Sometimes I hold on to pain because it has become familiar. Sometimes I hold on to memories because I fear that letting go means forgetting. Sometimes I hold on to wounds because I do not know who I will be without them. But today I understand that surrendering pain is not denying what happened. It is trusting that you can care for me better than I can care for myself. Surrendering is not erasing the story. It is allowing you to write new chapters. Surrendering is not weakness, it is faith. So I let go, Lord. I let go of the weight of trying to understand everything. I let go of the need to have immediate answers. I let go of the pressure to be okay all the time. I let go of the shame of still being in process. I let go of the accusations against myself. I let go of the words that hurt me. I let go of broken expectations. I let go of the sadness I tried to carry as if it were destiny. I let everything go at your feet. And as I let go, I ask you, fill me. Fill the emptiness with your presence. Fill my mind with your peace. Fill my heart with your hope. Fill my soul with your comfort. Fill my days with direction. Fill my eyes with new vision. Fill my mouth with praise. Fill my hands with strength to rebuild. Fill my steps with courage to continue. Holy Spirit, breathe over me. Breathe like a wind that renews. Breathe like the breath of life over dry bones. Breathe over everything that seemed dead within me. Where there was discouragement, bring life. Where there was confusion, bring clarity. Where there was heaviness, bring strength. Where there was fear, bring trust. Where there was night, bring dawn. Lord, I receive hope as a seed. Perhaps it still seems small, but I know that everything that comes from you carries life. I receive this seed and ask you to plant it in deep soil. Protect this hope from the winds of doubt. Protect this hope from negative voices. Protect this hope from memories that try to uproot it. Protect this hope from circumstances that seem to contradict the promise. May hope grow within me. May it grow when I am praying. May it grow when I am working. May it grow when I am resting. May it grow when I feel nothing. May it grow until it becomes a strong tree, able to give shade to other weary hearts. May my life one day be a testimony that you restore those who cry, lift those who fall, comfort those who suffer, and rekindle those who thought they had no light left. Father, strengthen my faith in ordinary days, because not every transformation happens in great moments. Sometimes healing appears in the decision to continue, in the choice to rise, in the courage to open the Bible, in the humility to ask for help, in the willingness to forgive, in the discipline of rest, in the faith to give thanks before seeing everything resolved. Teach me to recognize your hand in these small steps. I thank you because you did not abandon me in the middle of sadness. I thank you because even when I thought I was alone, you were with me. I thank you because my tears did not frighten your love. I thank you because my weakness did not cancel your grace. I thank you because my confusion did not prevent your direction. I thank you because you are still working in me. Now, Lord, I place myself in your arms as a child who no longer wants to run away. I rest in you. Even if questions remain, I rest. Even if not everything is resolved, I rest. Even if the process continues, I rest. Even if sadness tries to return, I rest. Because my rest is not in the absence of problems, but in the certainty of your presence. I declare that hope is returning, peace is returning, courage is returning, faith is rising. The soul is breathing, the heart is being healed. You are doing something new, and even though I do not see it all, I believe it is already springing forth. And if this prayer spoke to your heart, leave a like, write in the comments what you are surrendering to God today, and subscribe to the channel The Meaning of the Bible to continue receiving messages that strengthen faith, renew hope, and draw the soul closer to the word of the Lord. And I continue before you, Father, still in prayer, still in surrender, still allowing your light to advance within me, because I know the work is not finished, and the hope that has begun to be born now will be strengthened until it becomes a song gratitude and a living testimony of your faithfulness.